Coming up on Sports Paws, will Quinnipiac Volleyball repeat as MAAC champions?
And we have a top 5 matchup in men's ice hockey as Quinnipiac goes on the road to face BU.
And men's ice hockey beat reporter Andrew Reynolds will join us for the first mailbag of the season.
All that and more coming up on Sports Paws right now.
Welcome to Sports Paws. I'm Keith Savage.
And I'm Patrick Walsh.
Patrick, this is your first time on Sports Paws. How do you feel starting off the show with some MAAC semifinals volleyball?
Absolutely, Keith. Take the highlight. After having a bye in the first round, the Bobcats look to take on the Iona Gales in the MAAC semifinals. Now starting off with the first set, here's Ariana Diaz throwing down the hammer. Now starting off with the first set, here's Ariana Diaz throwing down the hammer early and giving the Bobcats a 6-5 lead. Then it will be Morgan Diaz dunking it over the net to tie the game for Iona. Iona will keep fighting, but Lexi Morse will show off the force for the middle block, and Quinnipiac will take the first set. Now, in the second set, this time Iona is throwing down the hammer after a kill from Ava de Guzman. Moments later, Quinnipiac will counter with a kill of their own from Ginevra Giovagnoni and win the second set. Going into the third, Mackenzie Wiggins will get the kill for Iona, but Quinnipiac is fighting back strong with another kill from Giovagnoni. And then moments later, it's Morgan Diaz once again with the kill. Iona will win the third set. Once again, Morgan Diaz tries to get one, but it's blocked at the net by Lexi Morse and Ariana Diaz. Finishing off the game, it's Yammer Ganesh with the ending kill, and Quinnipiac will take the game 3-1.
Big time kill right there. Big time move as Quinnipiac gets a big time win.
With the win, Quinnipiac will look to face their in-state rival, the Fairfield Stags, with hopes to repeat as MAAC champions. The Bobcats were led by Ariana Diaz and Ginevra Giovagnoni, who both had double-doubles in the game.
The next day, Quinnipiac took on Fairfield in the MAAC championship. Take the highlight. As Quinnipiac, the number 2 seed, goes off the number 1 seed, Fairfield Stags, in some MAAC championship action. Head coach Kyle Robinson getting his team hyped up for the big game to look to go back to the NCAA tournament. Let's get right into the action. In the first set, here we see Blakely Montgomery get a nice quick to put Fairfield ahead. Later in the first set, Favi Kimsel Mo gets a nice dig, but Fairfield responds with a nice set to Ali Elliott, who slams it down. Quinnipiac tries to push back in the set at Ginevra Giovagnoni, getting a nice kill, but Quinnipiac would end up losing the first set 26-24. Moving to the second set, Quinnipiac struggled early as Blakely Montgomery got another quick. Quinnipiac responds, though, with Lexi Morse getting in on the action with their own quick. Fairfield wasn't done with Michaela Hott getting a huge kill herself. Fairfield won the second set in dominant fashion, taking it 25-14. Quinnipiac looked to keep this up alive in the third set. Alexander Tennis started to take control, and she kept on going as she got a pass from Damalas Gunesh, and she smacked it down with force. Fairfield tries to respond, but Bailey Brescia says no with a big block. Brescia keeps herself involved with yet another block, and Quinnipiac would stay alive, winning the third set, 25-16. Moving on to set 4, as Quinnipiac looks to push out for a 5th set. Jonas Lavier gets the Stag started with a nice block to get for the early lead. Lexi Moore tries to respond with a quick, but Michaela Hott gets her hands up for a huge block. But Fairfield says no, and they finish off the game with Maya Walker kill, and the Stags flood the court to celebrate their MAAC championship win. Fairfield regains the MAAC title and will now head to the NCAA tournament to face Purdue Boilermakers team in the NCAA tournament. Volleyball beat reporters Gage Kilborn and Paul Syracuse recap the Bobcat season.
The Quinnipiac volleyball team saw their season come to a halt as the Fairfield Stags defeated the Bobcats 3-1 in the MAAC championship. For Paul Syracuse, I'm Gage Kilburn, and this is a season recap. Now, Paul, can you talk to us about what your high point of the volleyball season was?
So the high point for Quinnipiac this season had to be when they defeated Fairfield at home in 4 sets. One of the sets went to overtime. At that point of the season, it allowed Quinnipiac to be the number 1 overall seed. And during that game, Ginevra Giovagnoni and Ariana Diaz both had tremendous performances. Damla Ganesh set up the ball really well for the both of them. And just at that point, since it allowed them to be the #1 overall seed, you felt that Quinnipiac really had the momentum coming down the stretch.
Yeah, you were correct, Paul. Mine is similar. It's later on senior day when Ariana Diaz was able to do something that only one other Bobcat in the Division I era has been able to do, and that is have 1,000 kills in her career. It was a very emotional moment for her as she was given a gold in volleyball and a celebratory timeout during the game in order to receive the award and receive that recognition and honor for all the work she's done here at Quinnipiac. Now, Paul, we talked about the good, but there's got to be some bad in there as well. What's your low point of the season?
So, during the regular season, towards the latter half of the year, Quinnipiac lost to Marist at home, and with that loss, they no longer had possession of the first overall seed. It bumped them down to #2, and it was an important game because at that point, even though coming into the MAAC tournament, you know all 6 teams could have won, you had a feeling that Quinnipiac and Fairfield were considerably better than the rest, though. So seeing Quinnipiac get upset at home by Marist showed how it's not exactly going to be an easy path to the MAAC championship. They're going to have to play extremely hard in order to get there.
Yeah, I think it was a great wake-up call for them. And mine's like the next week later when they lost to Ryder. They were up 2-0 in that match, but they proceeded to lose the next 3 sets. That was like the key moment I felt like as well, because it was a turning point to say, okay, we got to wake up and start playing our style of volleyball. They went on to win 2 straight games and before losing to Fairfield in the title game. But that is all the time we do have here from Leo D. Mahoney Arena for the season recap. That's Paul Syracuse, and I'm Gage Kilborn for Q30 Sports.
Moving to men's ice hockey, Quinnipiac faced up against the #5 team in the country, Boston University. Let's take it. Bobcats, Terriers, top 10 matchups on Thanksgiving Eve. BU wins the faceoff and takes a hard shot for the bumper, which is saved by Duplessis, as you see it right there. Bobcats tend to have an inconsistent start as this one is tied up after the first period, but now it's the second. Quinnipiac still look for that score, and BU can't do anything right back as Quinnipiac takes it on his own entry as Alex Powers' rebound shot is saved by Matthew Corone. Still nada. But into the third, Tupker is going down for a wraparound and saved at first by Andon Sorbonne, who buries it. Now Bobcats had that 1-0 lead that they needed, but later Legault fires a rocket from the blue line, and now off a deflection, it's 2-0 Bobcats into the third. Everything's looking good, you think, but BU is not done yet as Jeremy Wilmer fires from the slot and scores a wrister. BU fighting back right here, 2-1. Ryan Green has an opportunity. He takes a rebound and puts it past the goalie. This ball game is tied up at 2. BU making some noise. Green with another shot from the slot and a beauty of the goal. The BU takes a 3-2 lead. Bobcats loses everything here and they end up losing this game 3-2 and teaches an old dog new trick as they come back from down 2 goals.
After a top 5 matchup, let's see where the Bobcats end up in this week's USCHO poll. The Boston College Eagles take over at #1 with a record of 11-0, followed by the North Dakota Fighting Hawks with the same record. The Denver Pioneers take over spot #3 after moving up 2 spots from 4. Boston University uses its win against the Bobcats to move into 4th place as Quinnipiac drops to 5th. A trio of Big Ten schools round out the top 8 as the Wisconsin Badgers, Minnesota Golden Gophers, and Michigan State Spartans sit in 6th, 7th, and 8th respectively. Men's ice hockey beat reporter Andrew Reynolds fielded some questions about the team on Twitter. Take it away, Andrew.
Thank you, guys, Keith and Patrick. I went on X, formerly known as Twitter, the other day, and I asked, what is the biggest question you guys have about this team? And I compiled some of the best answers, and I'll actually respond to some later tonight as well. But the first one was from Nick Antoniana. Shout out, Nick, Q30 alumni. He said, who has been the most underachieving player on this team so far this season? And I would honestly say it's not necessarily a player. It's got to be a position. I think the goaltending, it really is that, I would say, weak link on the Bobcats team right now. You have 2 goalies that head coach Rand Pecknold has really leaned on, which is Mate Marinoff and Vinny Duplessis. Vinny Duplessis being a grad student from BU, who is in his last year of eligibility, where he kind of came in as the veteran, and a lot of people expected a lot from him, and really hasn't done much except that BU game where he absolutely played incredible, and he made incredible saves throughout the first and second period, was played on his head, played incredible. And then you have Mate Marinoff, the first year out of Europe, who came into the year, really, people were expecting a lot from him. being a first year. And, like I said, people expected a lot from him, and he really hasn't produced as much. You see that game against UNH, the second game in that series. He gave up 3 goals in less than 5 minutes, and Grant Pecknold had to pull him right out. So I would say the goaltending has got to be the weakest link for the Bobcats. And, if we go to the second question from another Q30 alumni, Matt Mugno, shout out him again. He says, what is kind of more on the positive side? What's the biggest, brightest spot he thinks for this team? And my opinion, you have the Sherbrooke Boys, which is the Christophe Filion, Christophe Tellier group, and Vinny Duplessis, Marcellus, and then the York Hill Boys. In my opinion, Mason Marcellus and York Hill Boys being that first line has got to be the biggest spot on this team. When you look at the top point scorers, Mason Marcellus and the York Hill Boys, they make up the top 4. One is Jacob Cullen with 19 points. Number 2 is Colin Graff with 16 points. And Colin Graff, he played a total of 7 full games this year, and he's in second place in the amount of points this team has. And in third place, Mason Marcellus, the first year out of Canada. He's 21 years old from the USCHL, tore it up last year. First year the Bobcats scored the first goal of the Bobcats season this year against BC. He has had an incredible year with the Bobcats. And now moving on to the last one from Ben Jurgen. He goes, what could be the team be doing better? What will it take to get back to the Frozen Four and repeat? And to be honest with you, the Bobcats last year, they had incredible defense. This year, it seems to be lacklustering that. In order to have good goaltending, we talked about the goaltending earlier, but really to have good goaltending, you have to have good defensemen up front to really make the goaltender look good. And this year, they haven't really had great defense. And I also want to mention they give up too many penalties as well, which as a result of the penalties they give up, teams are able to get back in the games. The BC game, as well as the other games that they played since, was the reason why the Bobcats were falling so early and had a really slow start to the year where they were unable to get some wins that they could early in non-conference play. And that kind of wraps up the mailbag for this week. I'll respond to some more responses later on X tonight, but that's all. Send you guys back to the desk.
Thank you, Andrew. It is time for our first commercial break of the night. Make sure you don't get anywhere, because when we get back, women's ice hockey took on the top teams in Connecticut in the Nutmeg Classic, trying to forfeit as tournament champs.
And men's basketball point guard Savion Lewis is leading the entire country in a major stat category. All that and more when Sports Paws returns.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Joe, spotting on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. The women's ice hockey team was back in the Nutmeg Classic this weekend and took on UConn in the first game. Take the highlight. Quinnipiac versus UConn in the Nutmeg Classic with a trip to the final on the line. We start late in the first period where Julia Nearis receives a pass from Sadie Pert, moves around the defender, and rips a shot right past Tia Chen to give the Bobcats a 1-0 lead at the end of one period of play. Now into the second period. UConn is on the attack, and the puck eventually finds its way to Claire Peterson, who one times a shot into the back of the net, tying up the game at 1 apiece. UConn is not done, however, as less than a minute later, the puck squeaks out of a scrum and finds the stick of Cameron Wong, who fires one top shelf to give UConn their first lead of the game, 2-1 Huskies. Don't count out the Bobcats though. Sadie Peart and Kendall Cooper go tic-tac-toe as Peart deflects the Cooper pass back into the back of the net to tie this game up after 2 periods of play. Now in the third, who will be the hero? It will be Julia Neares, getting her second goal of the game as the puck trickles into the back of the net, giving the Bobcats a lead back in this one. Later in the period, Cooper dishes a pass over to Kate Riley going D to D. She takes a wrister from the point, and it's Nina Steigoff who deflects the puck past Tia Chan, extending the lead to 2 for the Bobcats. A last-ditch effort by the Huskies with the goalie pull gets robbed by Logan Angers in goal, robbing a chance for Brooke Campbell to get on the board, and the Bobcats survive and advance. The Bobcats will now focus their attention to a date with the number 13 Yale Bulldogs for the second installment of the Battle of Whitney Ave this season. It was the Battle of Whitney Ave once again for the championship game on Saturday. Take the highlight. It's the Nutmeg Classic final between the Quinnipiac Bobcats and the Yale Bulldogs in another installment of the Battle of Whitney Avenue. Now as we head to the first, where grad student Sadie Peart brings the puck up the wing and fires one glove side, but goalie Pia Dugarich collects the puck for a save. Later in the period, Kaylin Marsh brings the puck around the face-off circle and fires it on net, but Dugarich is able to collect another save. With a minute left in the first, Veronica Bach collects the puck and dishes it past the co-captain Kate Riley, who one-times it into the back of the net, giving the Bobcats a 1-0 lead. Now on to the second. Stephanie Stainton spins and fires Logan Angers. But the puck bounces off, but is fired again on goal. Pile up in front of the net, and eventually the puck is covered by Angers. Now later in the second, Emma Harvey sends it past to Susie Higuchi on a breakaway, and she's able to corral the puck and fire it on net, but Logan Angers makes a huge stop, keeping the lead for the Bobcats. Now a 4-on-4 play with Madison Chandler takes the puck down to the goal line. She'll send it past to Kendall Cooper, who dekes around the defender, and she puts the puck top bins past Dugarich, putting the Bobcats up 2-0. Now as we head halfway into the third, as Olivia Munn fires a shot through traffic, and Angers comes away with another great save. Now we jump to about a minute left in play. Nina Steigoff collects the puck off the board. She sends a missile from center ice into a wide open cage, sealing the deal for the Bobcats, winning this one 3-0. With the victory, the Bobcats win the Nutmeg Classic for the 4th straight time. They will now look ahead to return to the ECAC play as they will take on Union on Friday.
Women's Ice Hockey Beat Report Anthony Rossi has more on what it meant for the Bobcats to be back on top.
Some say that their lucky number is 3, but for the Quinnipiac women's ice hockey team, they just made it number 4 as they win their 4th consecutive Nutmeg Classic title over the Yale Bulldogs 3-0 in shutout fashion. The performance today was highlighted by graduate goaltender Logan Angers, who got another shutout win in the victory over an ECAC rival.
We're super proud of our team today. You know, it's never easy to win a championship. It's never easy to win a championship at Yale. They're a great team. They battle so hard. But our team kept fighting back today. Whenever they would get an offensive push, Logan would be there to make a save. And I feel like we just kept responding, which was excellent to see. And we're super proud of their effort.
4 straight Nutmeg Classics for Quinnipiac means 4 straight Nutmeg Classic wins for seniors and graduate students. This shows a lot of emotion for the entire team as it means so much to them every single year.
We take a lot of pride in the Nutmeg. You know, this is a time of year where we've played quite a bit of hockey and it can feel like a little bit of a lull, and this gives us something exciting to play for and work towards as we look to close out this semester. So it's a lot of fun and nice to see our group win it again. Nice to see Logan Andrews win it again, and you know, it's a really great feeling for our team. Yeah, I think we're on track. Like, there's a lot of things we still want to be really a lot better with, that we need to be better with, you know, or we would have played a better game against Colgate. And I think that we're addressing those, and we'll just keep chipping away at it. And you know, we want to be playing our best hockey at the right time of year, which is the end of the season and the playoffs, and keep doing everything we can to be the best version of ourselves along the way, and get ready to hopefully win another championship.
The Bobcats will be back in action next weekend, back at home as they take on Union and RPI to continue ECAC play. Reporting from Engels Rink at Yale University, I'm Anthony Rossi, Q30 Sports.
Here's how the women's USCHO poll looks after the past week of games. The Ohio State Buckeyes remain in the top slot with their record of 13-1-0. They are followed by their Big Ten rivals Wisconsin and Minnesota, who move up from 3 and 4 respectively. The Colgate Raiders move down from 2 to sit in the 4th slot in front of the Carson Golden Knights. The Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs move up 3 slots to take over the 6th slot. Quinnipiac stays in 7th place with their record of 14-3-0, followed by St. Lawrence in 8th.
On to men's basketball. Let's go to the Hardware, where the team looked to stay unbeaten in Hamden. The Quinnipiac Bobcats face off against the Stonehill Skyhawks in a non-conference matchup. The two teams had their first matchup against each other last season, and the Bobcats came out on top 102-95. Starting off the game, graduate shooting guard Matt Blanc drained a 3 from the corner and go up 9-3. The captain had 24 points and was 6 for 7 from deep. But Doug Young, junior guard, top of the key, splashes it to give Quinnipiac a 7-point lead. This is Young's first made 3 since the first game of the season. Stonehill fights back to tie the game up 23 from a layup by 50-4 of Pano Palvitas. Q, though, will go on a 24-6 run that's capped off by a 3-pointer by first-year Rehar Favors. The team was 9 for 18 from behind the arc in the first half. After some fighting for the ball, Blanc finds Favors in the corner to put the Bobcats up by 22 within 3 minutes of the half and causes Stonehill to call it an early timeout. The energy will keep on going as Amari Tice gets a slam right there. The head coach Tom Bacorda's squad is up 68-44 about halfway through the second half. Stonehill fights back a little bit, brings the game to 14 points with 2 minutes remaining in the game. But that was not enough. Quinnipiac will stay unbeaten at home and finds itself with an 80-69 win in Hamden. The team will now head on to Canisius on Friday for their first MAAC game of the year. Graduate student guard Savion Lewis is leading the country in a major statistical category. Men's basketball beat reporter Santino Maione has more.
Save's the best point guard I've ever played with.
Winning basketball games is predicated on decision making, and the Bobcats have one of the best decision makers in the country. Quinnipiac Bobcats point guard Savion Lewis is currently averaging 8.2 assists per game, which leads all point guards in NCAA Division I men's basketball. And amongst all those factors that contribute to him averaging 8.2 assists per game, the biggest one is the play of his teammates.
As I've said before to many people, we have a really good squad. I have a lot of experience, and my job on this team is to get everybody involved and do it in a solid way. And these guys are making the shots, so I give all credit to them for real.
It is true what they say, though. Hard work pays off, and Lewis prides himself on working hard on his playmaking during each and every practice.
I actually rep out a lot of practice, like passing with my teammates and stuff like that. We work on reads in certain situations, and then I watch a lot of film. I think that's what separates a lot. I get the answers before the test, and I just know what to do based off certain coverages that the defense plays.
In order to rack up assists the way Savion Lewis does, your playmaking and decision-making have to be on point. And head coach Tom Pecora trusts his point guard to make the right play.
He's a veteran, so he has the ability to control the game. I think he's surrounded by good scorers, and he's making great decisions. That's what that comes down to. It's all about decision-making if you're going to get opportunities to get assists like that. And the way Matt shot the ball today, the way Reed shot it earlier in the year, and our big guys, their ability for them to finish around the basket, he's been making some pretty good decisions with the ball.
His teammates love playing with him too, and they know that when Lewis has the ball, he's able to control everything on the court.
I truly believe that when Save has the ball in his hands, I think we're going to probably score. Save's disciplined, he knows how to make the right passes, and playing with him is just fun.
As the Bobcats approach MAAC play this upcoming weekend against Niagara and Canisius, they'll need Lewis to maintain his high level of playmaking if they hope to come out with the victories. Reporting for Q30 Sports, I'm Santino Maione.
It is time for us to enter commercial break one last time. But we are far from over, Keith. Women's basketball traveled to the Naval Academy for 2 non-conference invitational games. We'll see how they fared and who shined the brightest.
Plus the greatest part of the show, top 5 plays. I can't wait to see who made the top 5 this week, Patrick. Sports Paws will be back right after this.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Thanks for sticking with us on Sports Paws. The women's basketball team took on the Navy Midshipmen in Game 1 of the Navy Classic Invitational. The Midshipmen defeated the Bobcats 75-62, with Quinnipiac trailing for the entire game. Sunai Barnett-Gay led Navy with 22 points on 6 of 12 shooting, with 7 rebounds and 8 assists. Kia Smith also scored 20 points for the Midshipmen. For the Bobcats, Ella O'Donnell recorded her first collegiate double-double, scoring a career-high 22 points with 11 rebounds. Jackie Grisdale and Anna Foley both had 12 points in the loss. The Bobcats would look to bounce back on Saturday in Game 2 against the Towson Tigers. The Tigers beat the Bobcats 75-65. Towson's Patricia Anungma was 7 of 15 shooting with 19 points and 3 steals on the defensive end to boot. Kylie Cornegay-Lucas and Alina Sendar were both also in double figures for the Tigers with 19 and 12 points respectively. Jackie Grisdale led the Bobcats with a season-high 24 points, while Anna Foley recorded a 14-point, 12-rebound double-double. Quinnipiac has now lost 4 straight and will try to right the ship at Rhode Island on Thursday.
Meanwhile, 2 women's soccer players were named to a regional all-star team. Senior forward Colleen Chokol and graduate defender Kayla Magachos will be participating in the New England Women's Intercollegiate Soccer Association Senior Bowl game. Chokol was the MAAC Golden Boot Award winner after an 8-goal and 9-assist season. Magachos was the MAAC Defensive Player of the Year for 2023. The game will be played on December 2nd at Clark University in Worcester, Massachusetts. Even though the field hockey season is over, sophomore goalkeeper Cristina Torres is making news. Torres was announced as a member of Team Spain for the 2023 Field Hockey Junior World Cup in Chile starting on November 29th. She's been representing her country since 2018 and has won a total of 6 gold medals. Spain will look to win their first Junior World Cup with the Bobcats athletes on their roster. Patrick, do you know what time it is?
Of course I know what time it is, Keith. It's top 5 plays. You start this one off.
Let's get it going at play number 5. Women's basketball, the Navy Classic. Jackie Grisdale gets the ball up the cut for a contested score and layup. Tough score.
Heading to Hamden, some beautiful ball movement from the Bobcats episode. Amari Tice for the one-handed jam. Quinnipiac beats Stonehill by 11.
Play number 3. It's a men's ice hockey in Beantown off the ground. And Donster Bone with the quick stick. His 4th goal of the year. Second look. Just a perfect shot and a beauty of a setter from Tupker.
Nutmeg Classic action for play 2. Veronica back behind the net. She finds Kate Riley wide open and she scores. Quinnipiac takes a 1-0 lead in the Nutmeg final.
Number 1, Kendall Cooper creates the opening in isolation and goes backhand top shelf to double the lead. Right, left, top corner, Quinnipiac beats Yale for the 4th straight Nutmeg Classic. What a game by Quinnipiac against Yale, and Kendall Cooper, number 1 play, that was phenomenal.
It was, Keith. It was very good.
But now, thank you for watching. This is an edition of Sports Paws. To stay up to date on all of our content, follow us on social media at Q30TV and also visit our website at Q30TV.com.
From the producers and everyone behind the scenes, I'm Patrick Rolls, and alongside me is Keith Savage. This has been Sports Paws. Good night, Bobcats.